Good day, everyone. I am Angel Aspasio Navarro, a BS major in Social Studies 3. So, my task is about to report and to define crime and juvenile delinquency, their causes and effects, and its prevention and control. And so, today I will be going to present to you my presentation. So, first, I will be discuss what is crime and juvenile delinquency. So first, what is crime? So crime, it is the intentional commission of an act usually deemed socially harmful or dangerous and specifically defined, prohibited, and punishable under criminal law. So when we hear the word crime, it is includes such criminal activities such as a murder, stealing a car, resisting arrest, rape, possession or dealing of illegal drugs, being nude in public, drunk driving, and a bank robbery. So, crime happens anytime, everywhere, and of course, it is an act punishable by law, and it is usually considered as an evil. Next is what is juvenile delinquency. So juvenile delinquency is also known as juvenile offending. It is the act of participating in an awful behavior as a minor or individual younger than the statutory age or majority. So when we say juvenile delinquency, this means it is unlawful conduct by minors, which mean under the age of 18. And the juvenile delinquency, these are the teens, because teens are still immature and do not think like adults. Therefore, they are prone to making mistakes or committing crimes that are not fully in their control. And teens can break laws for various reasons. And there are a number of factors that can lead them to juvenile delinquency. There are many reasons why people commit crimes, and today I have 5 common causes of crimes. So first, we have poverty. So poverty is one of the most concrete reasons why people lead to crimes. And poverty, since people do not have the means to secure a living in the right ways, they invest their time in criminal activities, since they are not only an easy means to get what they want, but also do not require any other requisite talents. The ever-increasing divide we are witnessing between the rich and poor can also be attributed to more and more of the poor looking to crime as a means for living, and not being able to sustain and to earn themselves leaves people so frustrated. That's why they resort to illegal means to sustain themselves and their families. And we are living in time where the rich are getting richer and the poor getting poorer every single day. Next is peer pressure. So peer pressure is one of the most reason why people or many young people commit crimes, because they see a lot of their peers engaging in such acts. And it is common for high school and college students to engage in drugs and weed, marijuana, and a lot of more. And because young age is very critical, since one isn't filled with wisdom and experience, which is why a lot of people make the mistake of becoming criminals for no reason at all. Most youths who don't have a strong will to neglect or confront minor criminals often end up getting involved in big troubles. And unfortunately, many people in this world don't realize that they're doing multiple criminal acts by being part of things they aren't supposed to be. Therefore, peer pressure is another notorious reason for why young people are compelled into joining the bandwagon. Another causes of crime is the family conditions. So, family is also a weak point of any person who is about to commit a crime. Because if you are not being able to provide the for the entire family as a poor person, at one point in time you'll think of walking the negative path just to get what your family needs. And in most cases, when people are asked, they claim they need to provide for the family, because of which they end up getting stuck behind bars. And there are many things which go on with the family, and compelling a person to get involved in criminal activities. And many young people engage in criminal activities just for they believe it is their responsibility to take care of family, even if it is means to commit a felony. And in many murder cases, young people are often caught, who then explain how rich bribe them handsomely to do something they're not supposed to do. Next is the drugs. So drugs have always been highly criticized by critics, that a person who is addicted to drugs will at one point in time do something he or she isn't supposed to do. Then drug addicts are often unable to get rid of addiction, as a result of which their life starts getting filled with bad habits. And a poor lifestyle compels a person to adopt habits which he or she should distance themselves from. And in most cases, with the most violent criminals were asked, they blamed about crimes. They blamed the drugs as the main reason. Drug addiction is another rampantly growing disease which has slowly encapsulated many parts of the world. Last causes is the society. In today's times, money is one of the most important aspects of everyone's life. The meaning of money is not restricted to the amount of wealth in a person's bank account, but instead also attribute to their societal status, worth, and even values. As a result of this, people value money more than their relationships and happiness. What other people think of a person is more important to them than how they feel. Even schools and universities do not teach children how to be happy and satisfied in life, but instead teach their students how to make more money, which indirectly attributes wealth to worth. A case in point would be people in awe of students who study and take up professions in the fields of science as opposed to art, as a conventionally they have chances of earning more. As a result, people earning less feel unworthy and are compelled to indulge in life of crime so as to make money more and feel more worthy. So next discussion is the effects of a crime. So after the crime, there is the trauma of victimization can have a profound devastating impact in crime victims and their loved ones. So victims may feel angry, depressed, isolated, fearful, and experience negative feelings or have problems sleeping. Also, victims may be in a state of dissociation where they may be unable to fully express their needs, or may be only able to do so with some delay. And also, victims may not remember the details of the crime in the same way that an objective observer would remember them. And their brain may have blacked some part of their memory, and while other parts are vivid in their minds. So next is the prevention and control. So we can't stop crimes in this world, or in our world, or even in our society. At least we have some prevention and control of crimes. So first, we have a engage in community watch. This means that talk with your neighbors and learn the normal happenings at their homes. And when you know that your neighbors, and you know that the people who belong in your neighborhood, you'll also know if something is wrong. Next is keep in mind the impact of illegal drugs. So, illicit drugs abuse doesn't only affect individuals but also their families, friends, and the society. It is important to ensure that everyone in your community is educated about drugs' negative impact. Another thing to prevent and control crime is that the observe gun safety. The presence of illegal firearms in homes can increase the risk of violence, but there are some people keeping them to protect themselves. Also, to make sure that everyone else at homes is fully trained in firearm safety and that the weapon is safely stored or unloaded. Next is the educate everyone. So, help children and everyone to learn about the consequences of violence. Letting them lay out their thoughts about violence can help them learn how to think through this and the other issues. Uh, Teach children, in particular, that bullying is wrong. Help them learn to say not no to bullies. Last is strengthen the community. Um, Violence anywhere in the community can affect in all aspects. We should establish community standards and policies that reject violence and other crimes. Now, let's move on to the causes of juvenile delinquency. So, first, we have the broken family. So, a teens adopt a moral and ethical values from his or her parents and other family members. And it goes without saying that family plays a vital role in shaping a teen's behavior and grooming his or her personality. However, teens become violent or show signs of juvenile delinquency only when they are facing disturbance at home. Broken or disturbed families with a bad relationship can cause teens to go astray and become violent. And single parents are often busy working, therefore they're not able to spend quality time with their children. And this causes teens seek attention from others, especially their peers. Another cause of juvenile delinquency is the lack of communication. So, often lack of discourse in the family can lead children to find solace other than homes. When they are not having any communication with their parents or family members at home, they may lose unity, trust, and understanding, which can eventually lower their self-esteem or self-confidence. Once they feel they're losing their individuality, they tend to do things they shouldn't do to boost their self-confidence. And they blindly follow their peers and adopt their unhealthy lifestyle. They shoplift and consume drugs to look cool in the eyes of their peers. Next is the lack of finances. So, young or adult may lead the wrong path to improve their financial conditions. Teens become more juvenile delinquents due to lack of finances. And when they experience poor economic conditions, they start engaging in the wrong activities. And they may start selling drugs or steal things to improve their economic conditions. The last cause of juvenile delinquency is the lack of moral and social training. So, teens who have not given any social or moral training often lead to juvenile delinquency because it is the parents' duty to teach moral and ethical values to their children. They should teach them the difference between right and wrong behavior. Lack of social and moral values can lead children to poor interaction with others and make them less confident. They may become selfish and arrogant. They would not know how to respect the laws of the state. Parents often neglect their children and pay more focus on working hard to earn money for them. However, while doing so, they forget the importance of spending quality time with their children, and in their absence, children tend to spend time with someone who pays attention to them. They may also fall into wrong hands or to get involved in a bad company while seeking attention from someone other than their parents. Next discussion is the effects on the juvenile delinquency. So we have the effects of on the victims, effects on the juvenile delinquent, effects on the families, community, and the society. So first is the effects on the victim. So the most obvious people affected by juvenile delinquency are the victims. Whether the crime involves theft, vandalism, or violence, the victim always suffers loss. The victim may incur expenses related to lost wages, healthcare, or psychological care in addition to the cost of replacing damaged or destroyed items. Next is the effects of juvenile delinquent. So the juvenile who commits a crime also suffer effects that he or she is probably unable to predict. He or she may lose his or her freedom while being incarcerated or placed on probation. The juvenile may lose ground academically as well. Although placement in residential detention centers for juveniles may be appropriate consequences for the adolescent's criminal actions, it also puts him or her in relationship with other delinquents who may be more sophisticated or influential. This makes recidivism like in many states when a juvenile older than 14 becomes a repeat offender, or he or she may be tried and sentenced as an adult. The delinquency may even have future consequences on the adolescent's college and career choices. Another effect is the effects on the families. So, the upheaval and trauma of having a family member who is a juvenile delinquent can create instability for the other relatives. Not only does the family to cope with the needs of the child who is in trouble, but they may also have to raise large amounts of money to pay for the lawyers. In addition, the family has to face the ethical issues of responsibility to the victims of the child's crime. Families must usually attend group counseling sessions, which can be disrupted and costly during the time when the child is in detention or on probation. Next is the effects on the community. So, there is a correlation between juvenile delinquency and drug use, gang involvement, alcohol abuse, and sexual behavior. All of these issues challenge communities by making neighborhoods unsafe and costing large amounts of public money to be spent on law enforcement and school safety. The last effects on a juvenile delinquency is the effects on society. So young people who commit crimes before they are 18 years old challenge the future for everyone involved. They may be acting out to preserve abuses them that have been perpetrated against them. They may be believe that there is no future for them outside of a life of crime. They may be expressing anger or frustration directed against another person or group or looking for approval from gang. So, it is a serious problem that challenges the efforts of government agencies, politicians, educators, faith communications, and non-profit organizations alike. So, the next the last discussion that I will be discuss is the prevention and control. So, the prevention and control of the juvenile delinquency is considered as an essential part of crime prevention in our society. So, we have the for prevention and control of juvenile delinquency. First, we have the education. This means that educational and awareness program, such as programs to parents and how to behave with the children, how their behavior will live as an impact on the children, how important is interaction with their children should be conducted. And children have to be properly educated in schools about social behaviors. Next is the parent-child interaction. This means that programs should have conducted about parenting skills and how the interactions should happen between parents and their children. Healthy discussions should take place between parents and their children in order to educate the child properly regarding the behavior issues. And programs how to respond to their child's behavior should be conducted for the parents. Next is the prevent bullying. Most of the time, children become victims of bullying near their neighborhood by the other peer groups on the school campus. This bullying might have an impact on the mental health of the children. Sometimes children might hold grudges and commit offenses unknowingly. And lastly, the recreation. So this means that recreation programs extend opportunities to the children to connect with other children and adults, that they might make a positive friendship which might help them in the future. And these recreating programs should be designed in such a way that they would fit the personalities and skills that the children have. And extracurricular activities such as music, dance, sports, martial arts, painting, etc. have to be provided to the children to keep their minds refreshing and occupied. Alright, so that's all for my report. I hope you all have learned from my discussion, and thank you and God bless.